Hey everybody, this is Cresso. Hey, in this clip, I'm going to touch on, this is a response of a clip that I just saw from Dirtface the Moon. And I always watch this clip, his channel sometimes here and there, but, I'm very selective what I watch. But this, this particular clip, got my response. And I'm going to touch on some things that, a lot of us, for the past 70 years, a lot of us, we've been dealing with the secrecy of the United States government and these shadow operations that's been, it's been in play here. And so I've been doing some of my research, okay, and I definitely want to touch on a solution into this clip as far as dealing with the secrecies that a lot of people, and for example, in the UFO communities, including Stephen Greer, is not aware about the type of government. A lot of people feel the government is corrupt in a lot of ways, and that I personally feel is good. But a lot of people don't know is how to, go about a solution as far as, changing things, literally, like a significant change. And I'm going to touch on some things here that it might sound a little bit off topic, but it's what I'm about to say. It does ties down to everything with the government. So, I'm going to touch on the constitutional law, and this is I'm going to share these things for educational purpose. So, if anybody's I just want everybody to be open-minded. The stuff that I'm going to say now. In my other clips, I talk about what this government is. Okay, this government that's in office is not the original government. This is not the de jure government. This is a de facto government. This government is communism. A lot of people in America probably is hard to accept that truth, but it is. All the alphabet agencies, the FBI, CIA, NSA, there are part of the federal government. They all work under DC, obviously, but these agencies are foreign agencies. Okay, they're foreign. There's nothing to do with the American people. And I think by now, everybody, that the government has no interest for you. I think a lot of great people by now know that. Now, I'm going to touch on some examples about the secret bases that's conducting people have been seeing strange objects in the sky. And for example, I'm going to touch on Nevada, Area 51. Now, the thing is, everybody, is, excuse me, the thing is that the government owns the land. The federal owns these lands, okay? Because the people in Nevada, for example, gave up. They gave up their sovereignty to the federal. Okay, the federal is way out of its jurisdiction, and people gave their sovereignty to the United States. Okay, United States is not a nation. From border to border is not a nation. It's a corporation. Okay, it's part of a foreign corporation that's in DC. Okay, I'm not sitting here with some conspiracy stuff and with nothing to show for. I'm going to present something to you, everybody. For you to look into. I provide some links below, okay, and far as the situation with the secrecy with this government. Now, the state of Nevada, for example, okay, is part of the federal colony. So that means the federal government has the ultimate say. So a lot of people, for example, in the UFO community has been knocking on the government's door and waiting for some sort of disclosure. You're not going to really get much. I mean, you might get some things here and there by whistleblowers, and a lot of people are dependent on whistleblowers. But even the whistleblowers are afraid because obviously, the kind of government you're dealing with. You're dealing with a communist government. I'm going to run a series about this, a very short series, 2-part, I believe. And I'm going to show you some stuff that's mind-blowing on different communities, from the UFO, from health, from a lot of things. It's right there in plain sight. There's a lot of people, we don't realize these things for a moment. We're too busy being divided. We're too busy complaining about things and not really thinking about a solution. But as far as the UFO communities, I know a lot of people waiting for disclosure, but for the past 70 years, there's been a lot of dark secrecies. There's been a lot of stuff that Stephen Greer knows about, courtesy of the whistleblowers, insiders, and everything, is that the governments, they have technology that will redefine people's way of thinking of transportation. You got anti-gravity. You got a lot of stuff goes on that the government's hiding from people. Now, what kind of government will hide things from people? You have to understand. You got to look deep enough. Why? A lot of people are wondering that question. It's a good question. But again, the government that's in office, Republicans and Democrats, and all these people are these puppet people. They're just puppets. They're not for the people. This government was never intended for peoples. Never. Let me just give you a summarize a background, just to summarize the Civil War. We all believe that it was a civil war. For 150 years, okay, the United States got its foothold on all the states in the Union, okay? The Civil War, I'm just going to give a summary now. I'm going to get right to it with the UFOs and the secret bases, for example, in Nevada. But let me just express this here. We all think it was a civil war, okay? It was never a civil war. It was an international war between the states. Every state at a time was independent, and each state had its own currency, okay? United States instigated the northern states to fight the southern states because the southern states didn't want to give away their states' rights that United States was proposing. This is what I'm gathering my research, and I will show you the book, what I'm reading in a minute. I just want to express these things real slowly. So what happened is that, the northern states went along with the United States to fight against the South. The southern states there was never any hard record by law that the southern states rebelled. The southern states did not rebel. They were defending themselves. The thing is that the 14th Amendment, a lot of people think that the 14th Amendment was about freeing the slaves, the Afro-Americans, but it was never anything about freeing the slaves. It's to put every American, including whites, any ethnic group, into slavery. And, it's what it is. So what happened is that after the so-called Civil War, which is an international war, when the southern states gave in, everybody didn't want to fight. They didn't want to go to war. But they did. And after the war, a lot of people they got into a U.S. citizenship. Okay? The federal, which they're not supposed to do, according to the constitutional law, they're not supposed to interact with people, the federal. So what happened is that the federal create their own citizenships, and every state in America is a surgeon states. They're part of the United States, which is not part of America. It's a foreign entity. So people became U.S. citizens, and everything's been shaped for the past 150 years. Okay? I just want to summarize that. So now I'm going to express here about why a lot of people, even Stephen Greer or anybody else, is having problems dealing with this government, no matter how much stuff that you find under the dirt you find underneath the government. Yes, they're dirty. But people don't know the solution. How we could crack this thing wide open. Now, I just told you that the states is owned by the federal. Okay? Here's the solution, everybody. Everybody in America, including Stephen Greer or anybody else in the UFO communities, for example, you are U.S. citizens. And according to the 14th Amendment, you see, you as a U.S. citizen, everybody, you don't have rights. So if you want to march into a courtroom and demand answers from the government, why are they hiding things in Area 51? Look what's going on and everything. You're going to get deaf ears. And it's been done so successfully for a long time. If you do get some information, again, it's all going towards your whistleblowers. Now, here's the thing. In the constitutional law, every man and woman in America has a right to change their status, their nationality. For example, if Stephen Greer correct his nationality, just going to use him for an example, and he's no longer a U.S. citizen, he has standings in court. Okay? And let's say everybody else decide to correct their nationality. Could be any states. The 48 states. This is excluding Hawaii and Alaska because they're not part of the original republic, the Union. They're not. They've been part of the United States after the so-called Civil War. So I'll just say 48 states. Steven Greer has standings in court. He has a lot more say. A lot more than a lot of people to realize. And let's just say a lot of people correct their nationalities, right? Let's just say Nevada. You have enough people in Nevada, right, to bring your de jure government back in Nevada. So what that means is that you would get Nevada, the state of Nevada, back into its proper status. It will be outside of federal hands. So what does that mean for Area 51? That means the government, by law, by common and natural law now, the government has no dominion into land. I don't give a fuck if they're hiding shit underground. Every man and woman has right, the God-given right, to own the land. So that means the people have the power to own these government facilities. Yes, they do. Here's the book that I'm reading, and it breaks it down very simple. You see this book right here? This book will give you the breakdown of the 14th Amendment. This book exposes the stuff, how this government operates, even though a lot of people believe that this government is corrupt. This book provides the solution. This is not some opinionated stuff and some like garbage. This stuff breaks it down. It has over 500 footnotes to back up for what is written. This is the only book so far that I found that basically exposes this whole thing, how this government how it came to be for over 150 years, and that this government is not the actual original government that it was designed. Our original government is a de jure government, and every state before the so-called Civil War was independent. There's a lot of stuff that's going on here in America. You got British and you got other stuff, other interests that's coming here. British does have a hold of the United States, and the book pretty much has information on that. So if you get Nevada independent again, for example, Area 51 will belong to the people. And all these poor blarts, I'm just having a little fun here, all these security guards with these guns and these tasers and all that shit, they will have to stand down. Pretty much they have no authority at all whatsoever. And it is a mind-blowing. It is. So when I see these things like this about the secrecy of the government and I'm doing my research, I say, you know what? I got to do a video about this. Because people are going through a losing battle. When you battle against the system as a U.S. citizen, according to the 14th Amendment, Section 1 through 4, you are a subject. I don't care how much evidence you present to the courts, because the courts in America is operating on Roman civil law and private law. You do not have any rights. You could talk about the constitutional from the First Amendment to the Second Amendment. According to the courts, that don't exist. They only go by Roman civil law and private law. Steven Greer and anybody else that's a United States citizen, you will lose. You will not hear anything. The judge will toss the case out the window. And this is why the government's been getting away for 70 years in far as UFO sightings and stuff like that. Do you understand? If we had a de jure government and this stuff didn't happen 150 years ago, all the stuff that's been going on with the ET and interstellar craft, none of the stuff will happen. In fact, I could play around with this idea. A lot of people would have the access to free energy or have the access to other non-conventional technology. Yes. Yes. So the government is about controlling information. They will tell you what you want to hear because they control the airwaves, okay, the TV, everything. You got to look at other communist countries, for example. Other communist countries will tell you they will tighten everything up from the people because the people in those countries allow it. Those people, they play powerless. But here in America, a lot of people in America, they'll fuss about the government and they'll say, well, we're tired of these people and we don't know why they're hiding things from everybody. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you're under a communist thumb here in America. You understand, everybody? So there's a solution. We need to get people to become state nationals. You have to be state nationals. You as a U.S. citizen, you do not have rights. Those lawyers that they think they're for you, they're not for you. They're for the public and they're for the judges, for the courts. That is their allegiance. They're not allegiance to you. And the book that I just showed you, everybody, will break it down. The laws that's in America is the model of the Roman Empire. These statutes and codes and ordinance and everything, that's what it's about. And this is why people are losing in the UFO communities. You guys are losing. And I understand you have the passion, the heart, and you are right. You should know about these things. You have the right to know these things. These are your lands, but the federal own these lands. But if you get your state independent again, like Nevada, the federal government has no authority. It's every man and woman. It belongs to every man and woman. And the book breaks it down by law. This is not any opinion or any sci-fi bullshit. The book breaks it down. So I want to pass this information on, everybody. And if you want to educate yourself and you want to get Nevada back into independent again and crack Area 51 wide open, you have the opportunity, everybody. I'm just playing my part to get the word out. I will reach out to a lot of people from all parts, all communities about this. This government is not for you. And I know by now you know that. And by the way, everybody, you think that all the conservative, you think that Trump is a Republican? There is no republic in this system. You cannot have a republic in a democratic system. The Republican Party is part of a stealth government. It's part of the 48ers. The 48ers are originated from Germany. They're liberals. Do you understand, everybody? Do the research the best you can, but the book provides that. But do the research. The 48ers basically helped Abraham Lincoln into office. And what happened is the 48ers changed their name into the Republican Party. So technically, Trump is a Democrat. You cannot have a Republican form of government under a democratic system. It doesn't go together. So all the conservative, you're probably Republican parties, they're not Republicans. You might as well call them Democratic. Seriously. It's a fraud. Everybody. It's a fraud. It is. It's part of the game, everybody. We volunteered to be U.S. citizens. No one forced us. But your information wasn't available for you to know that. But now I'm playing my part to pass the word out. Now I gave you information for you to look into for yourself. This is a democratic system. You understand? It's about divide and conquer. It's about control and fear. It's about being a military. It's a militarized government. You understand? The benefits of getting our de jure government back and getting every state independent again, I'll say this very, very quickly. The United States Armed Forces that they committed treason. See, according to the Constitution, no standing army should be active for more than 2 years. And they're not supposed to invade other countries outside the Republic. Okay? So, that means, let's just say we get our de jure government back. The de facto government is no longer exist. Now we got the de jure government back. All the U.S. military around the world that's occupying, like South Korea and Japan and Germany, for example, they will have to come back. And this includes Antarctica, too. This little fucking game they're playing and these secret stuff going on. They will all have to come back, according to the law. They have to come back. All of them. And you know what, everybody? The world's going to watch. The world will watch that the change of government's happening. But this takes everybody. It's up to us, everybody. It's up to us. I gave you information. Now it's up to you to look into it. If you want to look and empower yourself and get the state, change your status from out being away from a U.S. citizen and get your state back independent again, you want to make a difference for your life and you want to make a difference for your family and your community, you have an opportunity now, everybody. There's laws there, common law, natural law, okay, that's there for us. These laws, Roman law, private law, they're not for you. And that's why people are losing courts in court battles. So you have a choice, everybody. You know, you could be under the communist thumb. You could wait and pray to God for disclosure, more stuff. You could do that. Or you could hit the system where it really hurts. And that means getting every state independent again. And that makes you, everybody, you correct your nationality first and get every state independent again. And that will hurt the system. They will fold. They will collapse. That's it. You can't have two government systems. It's either a de jure government or a de facto government. So right now you have a de facto government in play. Okay? Everything that's been going on is a fraud, that what you know as far as this political situation. You're going to have to undo everything that you learned from public school, and the same for these universities, everybody. And these lawyers, they don't know a damn thing about law. They think they do, but they don't. So I just want to leave this information off. I will do some more videos on this topic and other, as far as the political situation, but I'm going to do a mini series on this. So anyway, everybody, I provided information. Please look at them. Okay. This information I'm sharing to you is for real. It is legitimate. Put the power in your hand, everybody, and do the right thing. Okay, everybody, until then, I will be back with another interesting topic. Take care.